Hello and welcome to More Things. I'm Judy Trent. Now we always think that a brand new year is a great time for you to learn something brand new. Try something new. So this time we are going to go to 3 different class offerings that we have right now in the Park District, and try a couple things that we haven't done either ever or in a very long time. We are going to be exercising our mind and our bodies. The first thing we're going to do is go to Bach and go to the Checkmate Chess Club and see how they're doing. What kind of strategies will they learn? We're here at Bach now, and this is the first class we're going to drop in, and it's called Checkmate Chess. And I am here with Atanas Ivanov. He works for Chess Scholars, correct?
That's correct.
That's correct. Okay. Now, what age do we have here?
The age is pretty much from anywhere from kindergarten to like 7th or 8th grade. Yeah, it varies. So we have anywhere from beginner to a little more advanced kids. So we try to actually mix, and everybody gets pretty good experience, especially beginners, also benefiting playing against better players. So.
Okay, so this class can start with people who have had no experience at all, and you start them right at the beginning. And then I know there's at least one person here who has been in several classes. So we do have different levels, right?
Yes, we do. Yes, some of the kids, of course, a little more advanced. They've been coming back, some of them. Some of them are probably like the first class, the first session this spring. I think it works out well, and they're excited, and overall it's a great program, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I do like the idea that the beginners have a chance to play with more experienced players as well, because I think you're right. I know that helps to move them along, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yes, I totally agree. And yeah, some of the kids been coming back, Daniel and Martin, and they do a good job. So
right. Well, we'll have a chance to talk to a few of them as we move along. I did read something about they're getting something like chess belts.
Yes, it's according to the level. The kids basically go from white belt all the way to black belt. I usually test them, and they start, of course, from the very basic, and they go all the way up to very advanced. Yes, it starts from white all the way to black.
What would the tests be like?
I usually test them on some basics initially, give them some puzzles, they play against me. What happens is if they do well and I see they improve, and of course they keep going forward, I give them the belt according to the level. So. Okay.
Right. And I know you're in the middle of a tournament. This is the middle of this class, right? Next week's last.
Yeah, next week is going to be the last class, and we are in the beginning of, actually in the middle of the tournament, so we are trying to do as much as we can get done today, and probably next week a little bit. So.
Right. Now, I do remember when I learned to play chess, I do remember my teacher talking to me about certain opening gambits. And do you do any of the sort of technological or terminology?
Yes, of course we do, and it goes according to the level of the kids. We talk a lot about the principles of the openings and how we'd like the kids to start the games, to have in-depth knowledge about the opening, and we go through different chess openings from anywhere from Spanish to Sicilian. There are different gambits, but it still goes according to the level of the kids. The most important, of course, is the principles of the openings, and not only the openings, the middle of the game and the end game, which is also important.
Yeah, I think so. I do remember that I didn't have difficulty learning the openings, and I thought the end game was pretty good. I had a lot of trouble doing my strategy through the middle. That seemed to be a hard thing for me to learn.
Yes, the middle is a lot about basically getting ready for the attack and trying to strategize and make sure you prepare for attack and to how to win the game, basically.
All right, well, I know it's time for you to start your class, so I'm not going to keep you anymore. I'm so curious. We're going to check in with some of it looks like all boys. Is it all boys in this group?
Yeah, in this
okay.
group, yes.
Girls, chess. It's good for you.
You try to promote if you get behind. And, if you can checkmate the opponent, you get extra points. All right?
I know you're Daniel, and you are?
10.
And Martin, how old
I am 8 years old.
I don't know your names. What's your name?
Kalana,
And how old are you?
8.
8. And you are?
Rohit,
And you are how old?
8.
Very impressed. These guys are good, I can tell. You got a checkmate?
That's right.
Wow.
He's got 5, 7, 8, 11 points for Kalana. All right, very well.
So do they get points by the number of pieces that they
Yes,
take?
they do. In the tournament, the winner gets 50 points. If you checkmate your opponent, you get 50 points.
Can we play another
And if you lose, we just count the points.
Oh,
how
okay.
many
So you get points for taking those.
So
Yeah.
the pawn is 1 point, the knight is 3 points.
Can I play?
Yeah, just 1 second. And then the bishop is 3, the rook is 5, the queen is 9. So they can combine
king
all
is
the points, and that's how we basically.
Okay. So even if
calculate.
you don't win the match, you still get points. Okay.
yes.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah.
It's checkmate with our move.
I wanted him to take my pot and go here.
And what was your name?
Rohit. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And you are?
Kalana.
You're Elsa, right? Okay. So they just finished a match or a game. What would you call it? A game or a match?
Game.
A game. Okay. And he got a checkmate, but they both got points, so that's good in the tournament. And I guess you're going to be leaving and playing somebody else in a few minutes, right? Okay. Well, then I'm going to pay attention over here for a few minutes. And I've got Daniel, who is 10, and Martin, who is 8. Boy, I got a lot of 8-year-olds at this table. How are you guys doing? Pretty good? And I think, Daniel, you told me you've taken the chess class twice, and you have taken it three or four times? Okay. Do you think you would come back and do it again just to keep on getting better and practice?
Definitely. Definitely, I'm giving it a yes.
And what is your name?
Tyler Jovanovich,
Tyler, how old are you?
11 years old.
Okay. He just got a checkmate over there. So we'll see how he does over here. Have you done this class before, Tyler?
Yes, I have.
Do you feel like you're getting good experience each time you take it?
Yeah,
Maybe moving up a level?
yeah.
Do you ever have the opportunity to play chess at school or any, if there's like a chess club or anything? Oh, okay. Just curious. That would be a good thing to have in school. How many moves ahead do you think you're thinking?
I don't really
You just do like the next move, or do you try to move ahead mentally? You know what I'm saying? Like if I move here, he can do this. Do you try to do that?
sometimes.
Yeah, well, that's the strategy, isn't it?
Hi, my name's Brian. I take time for fun by playing football.
WSPD, your place to take time for fun.
Welcome back. We have moved over to the Meineke Recreation Center now, and the class that we're going to drop in on is the computer game design class. I have absolutely no idea how you would even begin to design a game. So we'll learn with them. Let's go on in and see.
Okay guys, we're going to start a new game today. It's going to be a scratch version of Pac-Man. That's one of the old classic games from probably back when your parents were kids.
We're here with Mark Budak, who is the instructor for the computer game design class. And he's an old friend of More Things, been on a few of our episodes.
Yes, we have.
Yes,
Thank you for having
including
us
the
back.
Boy Scouts. Yeah, that's right. So in this class, tell me how you even start with the kids.
We use a program called Scratch. It's created by MIT's Media Lab. And it's a great program to use for kids. It's created for people to learn how to start programming. They say it has a fairly low floor, meaning it's easy to get in and get started, but a high ceiling, meaning you can do quite a bit with it.
Okay.
Instead of line typing like a lot of the traditional programming languages have, these are all graphical blocks.
Oh.
So you have commands and you kind of stick them together somewhat like you would Lego blocks. Okay. And you can teach different characters or sprites what to do. You can have them follow a mouse around, move by cursor controls or by other things in the program.
Oh, okay. So the kids that are in this class, they're aged like 9 to 12, is that about right?
9 to 14.
9 to 14, okay. Have any of them done this before?
Maybe, I'd guess a quarter of them have. Okay. Sometimes kids have used the Scratch program in school. Other times they may have taken a class from us before. It's a free program to download from the internet.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of times if they have used it, we're still able to show them some new tricks with it. So they get a lot of fun and learn some cool stuff.
Yeah. So this is 4 weeks long, this class.
That's
but
correct.
when they're finished, they have a USB or
we give them a USB flash drive at the end of the class, so they get to keep a copy of the programs that they made. Okay. And then it also has just a convenience copy of the Scratch program on it, some things on internet safety and things like that.
So then they can take that flash drive home, put it in their own computer, and play the game they made.
That's correct. It runs on Windows computers and an Apple Macintoshes, and even a Linux variant called Ubuntu.
Well,
so it
very
runs
cool.
on almost anything.
Yeah. So how many games will they have completed by the end of 4 classes?
It takes usually two class sessions to create or finish a game. Yeah. When we first started, we'd do one per session, but a lot of kids said, can we add this feature? Can you add that feature? Right. So we started adding a lot of things to it. Takes a little bit of time to put those in.
Right, but then they get a more complete game, too.
That's correct. Yeah, that's right. A lot more interesting.
Yeah, I would think so. Now, do you spend any time teaching them the terminology?
We'll go through and show them what a variable is, and I always like to ask the kids, what would you use a variable for? Sometimes we'll get blank stares, and we ask them, what do you do in a game to find out if you're doing well or not? What do you keep track of? Well, you keep track of score. You keep track of how many lives your character has, what health conditions it has, and then go in and show how we add points to a score. That's just a variable, and that's something almost all computer programs are going to have. There's conditional logic in it. So if one character runs into something else, what does it do? Maybe it blows up, maybe it disappears, maybe it scores a point. Yeah. And we can have a lot of other things like that.
That's very cool. And this class, they're working on a Pac-Man type game, right?
A Scratch version of Pac-Man. We have another one called Hungry Fish. There's a version of Pong, which is one of the original classics. There's a Ghost and Goblin Chase that we try and do around Halloween. There's one called Pirate Ships, where they'll shoot pirate ships from the shore, and there's a Space Invader game, and just we're adding new games.
Well, it looks it looks so interesting to me. Do you ever do this for adults? Because I have a feeling there might be some adults out there who will be looking at this and thinking, you know, I'd kind of like to learn how to do that.
Once or twice we've invited some of the parents to play in there, and we had, I think, 3 or 4 of the parents doing that. Usually if you have a parent and their child, it's kind of competition, who gets the keyboard. So we want to make sure that the kids have first choice at it.
Well, it's fascinating, and I can't wait to watch. Are you just going to put those things in random places, or how will you plan that out?
I'm gonna see if I could possibly fit a Pac-Man for
adjustments on the
in my brain to see if I could.
And then do you put little characters in those places that can eat it, like?
Yeah.
or it won't work at all.
To change the background color of your maze, it changes that blank background.
Do you have your maze done?
Yeah, I have my maze done.
Okay, show me your maze.
This is my.
And then click on the tab up here for
All these blue bars that he's putting in.
those are blocks in the maze. So that's our actual maze that we run through. We're going to have Pac-Man navigate around each of those obstacles.
Okay, so Pac-Man's going to like go
Yes,
around.
that's correct.
Does he get to choose how it goes?
Yes. And you'll see that we'll use the cursor control keys to navigate around, have Pac-Man move left, right, up or down. Fill tool, click once. It should fill just this part of my Pac-Man. If you have fire fangs or whatever, stick it.
We are now at the Community Rec Center, and we are going to drop in on a fencing class. I'm very excited about this. I love fencing. And this is Vladimir Lapshin, and he has been teaching fencing for quite some time, right?
That's right, about 12 years.
Oh, okay. And have you been with the Park District for that long?
Yes, with Schaumburg Park District, I'm been teaching for about 10 years.
And I know you have tremendous background experience on your national team, and tell me a little bit about that.
When I was young, I was member of the Soviet Union team, and later on I was in national team for my country named Kyrgyzstan. So I've been doing this most of my life.
It's very impressive. When you're working with kids, and what age group are these kids?
It starts with 8, and we work with all kind of ages. You know, sometimes I have adults in my class, so it's always fun.
Ooh, that'd be fun. Yeah, I'd like that. I took fencing in high school, so I know about do you use épée?
No, we're using foil.
Okay, a foil. And you teach them all the terminology, like on guard?
Yes, absolutely. You know, I try to introduce kids to the fencing and just try to do my best. So if any of these kids decide to join club one day, they're not going to get lost. They're just going to fit perfectly there.
Right. And do you have little tournament or bouts? Do they do a match with each other?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Every class we do some kind of warm up. We do practice footwork, and after this, everyone have bouts. Okay. Yes, so every kid have about, depends, how many students I got, about 5-6 bouts every night. Oh, cool. And yeah.
I see the kids are here, and I don't want to hold Vladimir up anymore. Thank you very much for your interview.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see it.
Watch your position, guys. During this exercise, make sure your right foot point straight forward. Okay, let's start. Same time as big guys. Start with your right foot. Advance. Take a little pause. Yes, advance. Take a little pause. Matthew, keep your arm up. Good job, guys. One advance and stop. One advance and stop. Keep your lunge, please. Recover. That's beauty. Go. Advance lunge. Recover. Retreat. 2 advance lunge. Matthew, that's a great lunge. Go, guys. Advance lunge. Recover. Retreat. 2 advance lunge. Very good. Advance lunge. Retreat. Retreat. Move this way. So we got some movement. Okay, take it down. No jumps. No jumps. Jumps is different exercise. That moves good. Very good. Keep your points down on the floor, guys, and step to the middle. Just wait for me. If you're not moving, I go beat, extend my arm, lunge. Recover, my partner start. Beat, extend his arm, lunge. Yes, very good. So guys, you see, it doesn't have to be done big, not too strong. Just a small tip, and very important. As soon as you're done with your beat, your blade needs to bounce right back to the same on-guard position. So you're gonna point to your partner's chest, okay? 1, 2, lunge, good. Yes, we know this exercise, guys. It's not new. It's gonna be more fair, guys, if our captain's gonna be Matthew and Ed. Okay? I'm gonna choose because these guys took fencing for about the same amount of time, and fencing is usually about very tight, guys. Okay? So go.
Well, we've got another interesting trip around the Park District and dropping in on a few different classes. We've seen the chess, we've seen the computer game design, and now we just finished seeing the fencing. We've got a little something for your brain, something creative and for your brain, doing the computer game design, and something physical for fencing. Now, there's a ton of things going on around the Park District all the time, and I brought the most current program guide, the spring catalog. So if you've got this, be sure that you check out all the different classes. There's always something new available. If you didn't get one, be sure and stop at one of the facilities and pick one up, because there's, like I said, there's always something new and interesting. So we had a lot of fun. I hope you'll join us again. See you next time.